What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie290 today coming at you live against the power of the internet. Today I'm coming in hot. I have something I want to talk to you about. If it looks like I haven't been sleeping for the last 4 days, it's because I haven't. I've been at a convention, and I got some really disturbing information at that convention. Something that kind of sealed together something I've been experiencing for a long time, and I want to talk to you about it today. But the simple fact of it is YouTube profits from hate, and it's killing its creators. And content creators don't talk about this. I have, and it made things worse, so I understand why they don't talk about it. But I'm going to be their voice today. I want to talk about it, and I hope YouTube pays attention. There's always been hate on the internet, and at the beginning of the internet, we picked on Tron Kid, Numa Kid, Chris Chan. Let's just be honest. We picked on morbidly obese, disabled, and autistic people. That's what we did. It sucks, but that's what we did. Sometime around 2016, the internet shifted pretty deeply, though. We got these little pockets on Reddit, these little pockets of just disturbing hate that wasn't happy with the reality. They wasn't happy with the truth. They had to spread misinformation. And if you know anything about my channel, you know anything about me, you'll know I was one of the earliest victims of one of those misinformation campaigns. You, watching this, probably believe something that's not true about me. And it sucks. The people that hated me originally, they just hated me because I was fat. And if you go back and look at their original posts, that's all they talked about, how fat and gross and weird I was. And I would kill to get back to that kind of hate because it seems like a cakewalk compared to now. But those people did something really smart. They spent hundreds of man hours looking back at everything I'd ever posted on the internet, going all the way back to 1996 to look for things to use against me. And the way they used it was brilliant. If it was something actually bad, they held me accountable, right? And we all deserve to be held accountable. But sometimes when it wasn't enough, they would twist it, they would warp it, they would put it in a different context, they would tell you what it's supposed to mean, even though it's not what it actually means in that context. And by that, they convinced a lot of people of some really crazy shit. If you know me as a creator, as a friend, as a fan, you'll know it's so beyond reality, it's laughable. Boogie's never actually been mentally ill. Boogie could lose the weight if he wants to. Boogie is abusive to women. Boogie posts to TikTok to fuck children. You've heard this shit. Content creators have posted this shit over and over again on this platform. YouTube has profited from it, and when I speak out against it, large creators punch down to make fun of me for taking the fucking bait. YouTube profits when a small creator posts it. YouTube profits when I dare speak out against it. And YouTube profits when a large creator dunks on me for talking about it. They make millions. And there's a whole group of people they call lolcows that YouTube makes money off of their harassment of, right? Wings of Redemption, Darkside Phil, me, you know who I'm talking about. It's funny what those guys have in common, huh? Fat and autistic. The internet didn't change that much. If you've ever met me in real life, you'll know that I genuinely care about you. If you're a creator, if you're a fan, if you're a random person on the street, I'm going to ask you, how are you? And then I'm going to ask you, no, how are you really? And anybody that's talked to me know that's true because I like to help. I like to learn. I like to know what's going on. And if I can help you fix it, I will. And I have done that for dozens of content creators. If you could look at the texts on my phone, if you could look at the phone calls of the people I've talked to, for every creator out there shitting on me, there's another creator who relies on me, and I'm a very lucky person to have their friendship. But the shit they tell me about makes me lose sleep at night. Every creator I have talked to is now being treated like I was back in 2017. They look through everything. They look for something they can hurt you with. They take it out of context. And when it's not enough, they make up new shit. And YouTube makes millions. I'm not going to name any specific names because I don't want them negatively associated with this video, and I know they wouldn't want me to say their name, but I got to speak for a while with one of my favorite creators, a creator I've watched for years, someone I've met several times, and when I met him before, he was one of the happiest, most upbeat people I've ever met. He was a joy to be around. But when I saw this creator at this convention, he was a broken person. He was shattered. He was sad and dour and miserable, and I was genuinely concerned for him, so I begged for 15 minutes of his time, and I got a hell of a lot more than that, and he told me stories that curdled my fucking blood. I had no clue it was that bad for this creator. So I went to my hotel room and I searched up their name, and I saw dozens of creators getting hundreds of thousands of views, spreading misinformation about this person, and YouTube is making millions off of it. And 90% of the things I saw in these videos about this creator were not true. I know this creator, but even if I didn't, some of it just doesn't logic out. If you use half of your brain, you'll be smart enough to know it's bullshit. And you know what? I think if you're smart enough to make a YouTube video, if you're smart enough to create something, you're smart enough to know it's bullshit. But these creators don't care because they know if they talk about it, people will click on it. And when they click on it, they'll watch the advertisements and YouTube will pay them thousands of dollars to spread that bullshit. And this is affecting the entire YouTube community. I don't know who you watch on YouTube, but I promise you, at least one of the people you watch on YouTube has talked to me about this. I have texts to prove it. I have phone call logs to prove it, or I've talked to them about it at a convention. And they're afraid to talk about it publicly. And YouTube does shit about it when we talk about it privately. And I'm not a huge fan of censorship, honestly. But YouTube censors shit all the time, right? They censored misinformation about COVID. They censor misinformation about brands. They censor misinformation about politics. But when it comes to the creators, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm one of the few people lucky enough to have a contact at YouTube. And you know what? My partner there is one of the best people I've ever met. He's been a wonderful friend to me. Him and I have talked about this issue for 5 years. YouTube has listened to me talk to them about this stuff over and over again for 5 years, yet nothing gets done. And I know for a fact that some of the creators I've talked to about this issue have partners too. Those partners run it to the top of the flagpole, yet nothing ever seems to get done. The creator I was so worried about at this convention, I asked him, have you talked to your YouTube rep about this? Have they helped you with this? And he says, no, they have not. They've tried, but the policy team says it's okay. This creator was so broken, so defeated. There's some good news. I think YouTube is working on this every day. I think the policy team is trying to figure out a way to fix things. In the meantime, they're making millions by not fixing it, though, so I feel like it's going to continue to go very slow. I know they were working on it 5 years ago, and shit ain't changed, so I don't suspect it will in 5 more years. God knows I've talked to him about this for the last 5 years. When that crazy person showed up at my front door, when all this internet beast stuff happens, when one of these channels crop up that call me a pedophile every day, we talk about it. Not much changes, but we talk about it. And you know what? I know that these other creators that are in my phone that I meet at these conventions, they talk about it too. But every day they don't fix it, they make millions. So I suspect the change will be slow. I've always wanted to make this video publicly instead of talking about it privately, but you know, I knew it was career suicide. But hey, my career's already dead. And I'm a fat old man, so I probably will be seen too. So maybe this could be my mic drop, and maybe something can get fixed.